most of these sound a little drop kicky.
Yeah.
One of the things I would say that where you fight that kind of heavy shot is I'd say how much like down and left the handle goes. Like it wants to really go, it's not a crazy amount across. I think if you're on, if I had you on the TrackMan, you might find the swing directions a little to the left, but the handle really stays too low and pulls like down and across a lot. And these lies, which are pretty firm, you can probably get away with more than if they're a little bit soft. So anything that we can do, let's talk about to get things a little bit more shallow. So the first thing I would say would be raising the handle. The second thing I would say would be getting a little bit more rotation in there. And here's the thing, I don't think it's so much, I know we spoke about the shoulders last time because it was such a short swing, but I'd actually like to see it a little bit more through your lower body. Now you have a little bit of a change in knee flex there, which is essentially like your tilts. But even on a short pitch like this, I would actually like to see some release of like the hips. Meaning I'd like to see him like go back this way. I'd like to see the left knee travel a little bit in, because all that's adding to, getting you to arc it a little bit more, which, even though I said the swing direction's a little bit left, if you couple that with the handle like moving like down and left, it kind of adds too many like steep parts to it. I like your arm wrist structure, like you don't load it too much, so we really don't have to work on that part. We need to figure out how do we get things a little more rounded, how do we get a little more shallow, how do we get you swing out a little bit, because it does look like, even though you hit some clean ones, you're hitting enough behind or enough like ones that get a little bit sticky that needs to be addressed. And it looks like you're kind of fighting that shot as well, which I think is like more important. So you want to have the confidence to go through the ball and not feel like you get stuck. But you'll see here straight away, the club's going to arc a little bit more to the inside. There's a little bit more hip turn in there for sure. But you'll notice it definitely changes where the club wants to track into the ball. It's definitely coming more inside, which means it's going to swing more out. Handle's kind of moving up, club head's moving out, and the exit's much, much higher there. And it almost looked like it wanted to have like a little soft draw to it. So I think that's a good baseline. We could, again, maybe tweak the hands a little bit, but let's just hit a bunch like that. If you catch them a little bit thin because you're almost feeling like you're coming a little bit too much into out, I think that's okay, because we're going against like sticking it in there.
You just got to manage.
You can almost see like your head dives down and forward. There's still an element of the tilting part there. So by me kind of placing your right ear lower to the ground, so it feels like you're maybe this way a lot, and almost feeling like it stays there, which it doesn't, it's actually pretty level. It really puts your whole body position in a different light there. The head actually does play an important role, because I feel like even though you were doing your legs pretty well, with that head position, it just allows your upper body to turn more centrally. It's not like turning, or dipping down so much. Completely different picture there. And then it's just so much easier for you to move like up and through. Interesting, from here you actually fall back a lot. But I think you're forced to, because you steep on it. And when you steep on it, you're either going to figure out, how do I reduce it by bending my arms a lot, or you'll do it through tilt, or maybe like a combination of both. I'd say yours is probably a combination of both. Yeah. Whereas here, you're basically able to move through it so much better.